A world is ever human, populated by blind humans. I revolt against the I, the king that has power over them. In every soul is 1,000 souls captured. In every world is 1,000 worlds hidden. And these worlds, these hidden worlds, is real and living, but incomplete, as true as I am real. Gunnar brought Surrealism to Sweden and has quite a repertoire of his poetic works. Gunnar was born rich, overclass family in Stockholm, but his life was not easy. His father, while rich, was a liar. The father had syphilis when he married Gunnar's mother, and he did not tell her. After some years, the syphilis went to his head, and his mind was not there. He could sit in a chair looking at nothing, blank eyes. And this Gunnar saw, and this Gunnar wrote about. Ever since he was a child, he saw how disconnected reality could be. How his father could be there and not there at the same time. Writing stories about his childhood home, the walls, the corridors. Writing about the arguments his mother and father had. How he felt bad for his father, the sick man, but the liar. Ever since Gunnar was young, he wanted to see what was foreign, because what was here is not worthwhile. He wanted to know what else there is. And he writes, "It's a remote country. How do you get there? By leaving behind. After mile, to leave behind. After you get there, that is. It's a distant. There is no proximity. If you come to yours, you will find a distant land. A land that is distant. Nothing else is there. Therefore, everything is different. The grass is different there. The cows are different there. The houses and barns, remote. The stalls, remote. The wells over in the distance. Everything is remote. Land like water, earth like heaven, yourself like the one you love. So it is. Yes, so it is. It's a land that is a land that is distant. This is a land that is a land that is a distant land. I sing about the only thing that reconciles, the only practical for all equal human, how seldom man has power, to give up I, and the action, give up, is the only thing that gives power. Instead of going to the Orient, he went to London to learn the languages of the Orient. He went there in his 20s as the king, his own kingdom. Because you see, for Gunnar, every man is a king. Because every man is an I, and I am the power, and I am the king. He was only in London for a few months. After that, he went to Uppsala to learn Persian. But he flunked the courses, but he started writing his own language. But while in Sweden, he fell in love. Gunnel was her name. Gunnel gave Gunnar new hope. A new hope for the Orient, where he yet has not been. And he writes about her. In my dreams, I bend towards you, my little pearl, for my eyes to be yours. In my dream, I'm holding your hand, so my hand will root into yours. Blue is my wishes. Blue is the oceans and the heavens' wishes. I love you, but I feel I have an inability to give you happiness. He was with Gunnel and married Gunnel, but it didn't last very long, just a few months. Because after a few months, he lost all of his money. But he remained calm. He was actually happy, because now he's a nomad, a Jew, a black, a Romani. During his earlier poetry years, when he was more into romantic poems than Surrealism, he spent time with the poets of the 30s in Sweden, something I called Författarnas topp, which they all lived together in a sort of a poet commune. to write together, to drink together, to talk and learn. And all the big poets were there. Many of the cultural elite was there. He was there for quite a while, hopeful and drinking. But after some time, it changed. Being there gave him an epiphany. He will never be in the Orient. He has not yet been to the Orient. And he was getting older at this point. And he knew he was never going to travel to the Orient. So emotions started to change. He disappeared in himself. He was insecure. He did not know. He loved to drink. But now he's always past drunk. He's gone, pale and skinny. Rejecting Christian dualism, claiming that there is no good nor no evil. It's all about forgiveness. No matter the bleak totalitarianism or the safe, homely idea of what one knows. What's the difference? Nihilism started to grow. He started to see things differently. He knew in meaninglessness, everything was equal. The snow was meaningless. The snow was neither right nor non-right. He lost his Orient. He writes, "A poet's main task is to know like himself, to be human. His best tool to get to this is accepting his uncurable loneliness, and is meaningless in his wandering on earth. And only then can he understand the illusion of reality. Only then can he help to put himself where everyone else stands. Meaninglessness gives meaning. They are humans, but at the same time, they're anti-humans. To understand humans, you need to go from underneath to the bottom of them. To understand where they bottom, to understand the saddest part of them. And if you're there also, you can connect with them. You can understand them. There is equality in the bottom." Hello. The scripted part is now over. Now it's me free-flowing a bit here. First of all, any poems that you read, I translated myself. So yeah, there could be grammatic errors. Oh, well, not grammatic errors, but structural errors that doesn't fit in English, but fits in Swedish. All of his poems were in Swedish. Just a little bit of a reminder. This man is fascinating. This man is interesting. Going through his life, it was very sad. We're talking about a man who, while had everything in his early stages, lacked sort of the human connection. Absentee mother, dead father. And he writes a lot in his poems that what everybody has is the spirit, is the human spirit. That's a capital in and of itself, that you can't forget. And you need to understand this. You need to understand humans in a sort of a different level. The last poem, I think, is what sums up a lot of his more existential understanding, is that every human has a bottom, and you can understand them from their bottom, because everybody's sad, everybody has hardship. And if you had that hardship as well, you can understand hardship, you can understand it all. He goes into, obviously, Surrealism and Anti-realism a lot too. But I'm going to read you a poem in Swedish and just have the English translation, because it's going to be awkward to read it in English. It's a Swedish poem. But that's going to be the closing statements, and then I'm going to have some funny outtakes before that ends. But a lot of his other poems that he writes later in life, once everything is crap, he writes a lot about actually what his father is. Being there while not being there. He writes a lot in repetition, a lot in statement and anti-statement. I am here while I'm there. I am gone while I'm there. I am none while I am. I am existent while not understanding existence. Things of that nature. Very fascinating. Let me read this poem. And then I think I will have some final remarks. And then a little bit of outtakes and then we're done. Thank you for watching. Eufori. Du sitter i trädgården ensam med anteckningsboken. En smörgås, pluntan och pipan. Det är natt som är så lugn att ljuset brinner utan att fladdra. Sprider ett återsken över bordet av skrålliga plankor och glänser i flaska och glas. Du tar dig en klunk, en bit, du stoppar och tänder din pipa. Du skriver en rad eller två och tar dig en paus och beundrar strimman av aftonrodnad som skrider mot morgonsrodnad. Havet av hundlockor, skummande grönvit i sommarsnattsducklet. Inte en fjäril kring ljuset, men köar av myggor i eken. Löven som stillar mot himlen och aspen som prasslar i stiljen. Hela naturen stark av kärlek och död omkring dig. Som var det sista kvällen för en lång, lång resa. Man har biljetten i fickan och äntligen allting packat. Och man kan sitta och känna den fjärran länders närhet. Känna hur allt är i allt. På en gång sitt slut och sin början. Känna att här och nu är både ens avfärd och en hemskomst. Känna hur död och liv är stark mot vin inom en. Ja, var ett med natten. Ett med mig själv. Med ljusets låga. Som ser mig i ögat stilla. Utgrundligt och stilla. Ett med aspen som darrar och viskar. Ett med blommornas flockande som lutar sig ur dunklet och lyssnar. Till något jag hade på tungan att säga om jag aldrig fick utsagt. Något jag ville förråda ens om jag kunde. Och att det prålar inom mig av ren lycka. Och lågan stiger. Det är som om blomman tränger sig närmare och närmare ljuset i strimmande regnbågspunkter. Aspen skälver och spelar, aftonråden skrider och allt som är utsägt och fjärran är utsagligt och nära. Jag sjunger om den enda som försonar, den enda praktiska för alla. Thank you for listening. Reading poetry and understanding a bit of this was really fun. So if you want to hear more by crazy people, absurd people or poets, I will do more, but do tell me. Now listen to these bullshit 2 outtakes. First one being a goddamn car at 6 a.m. honked his horn like crazy outside of my apartment. And the second one is just me putting an alarm on because I thought I would be sleeping in about a few more minutes. How his mother and father argued. How he cared more of his... Could you... Fuck is wrong with you? I love you. But... Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Fucking brilliant fucking snoozing in the middle of loving.